So today we're going to go over hashtag research and how to conduct that. So you will have an Excel spreadsheet or a Google Doc, and you're going to track everything that you find on this particular document. And you'll see that there are tabs down at the bottom. There's hashtag research, currently used hashtags, and then suggested hashtags, and then influencers. Today we're only just going to go over hashtag research and how to conduct that. So the first thing is to get on Instagram, and I would suggest actually doing this on a desktop if you can, just because you'll be able to see a little bit more. You'll see some different content on the desktop and then on like an iPad or a tablet and then on your phone, but desktop is that's the easiest. So here we go. For this particular client, Smokin' Oaks Organic Farms, they are a farm and they are local to Nashville. So we're going to be looking specifically at local hashtags and then at like organic meat and that kind of stuff. So you need to have a basic understanding of the client and of kind of the target audience and of their product. So we'll go to this particular post because there should be some hashtags. So one great thing about this is that we've got a little bit of a baseline. If you're conducting this and the client doesn't have any hashtags, then that might be something that we have to discuss. But for now, we're just going to kind of use these. So I'm going to click on one and open in a new tab. And this is you're going to have a lot of tabs open, just FYI. So you might want to exit out of any other program that might slow your computer down. So this one we're looking at Nashville Foodie. So we're looking at that one, because this is food. They're a farm, so they're producing meat. And two, because they are local to Nashville. So things that I want to look at. One, I want to look at how many posts there are. So we want to typically we want to use hashtags that have between 10,000 and like 250,000 posts. Once it gets a little bit higher than that, we're going to be looking at some flooding, and especially if the client doesn't have a lot of followers like this one, excuse me, they only have 800, their posts are not going to show up very high. So we want to make sure that we're keeping to kind of a narrower hashtag aggregation, I guess. So I like that this is I like Nashville Foodie. The content seems to be relevant to posts about food. So you'll see pizza. I don't know what that is, but it looks delicious. Here's some eggs. So this is the top posts. So these are going to be posts that have a lot of likes that are super relevant to the hashtag, and Instagram's going to pull them together and put them in a top post, and that's just a grid of 9 photos you'll see here. And then you can look at most recent. So look, this is a post that I just did for Smokin' Oaks, and they're here. We've got 3 likes. We're working on engagement. But this is just a chronological timeline. So you'll see there's Franklin Juice Company, nachos, that kind of stuff. So I really like this hashtag. I think that it's going to be relevant to our audience, and this is also going to help us reach a wider audience, which is ultimately the purpose of a hashtag. You want to make sure that you are hashtagging something that is relevant to the content, the specific piece of content, whether that's one photo or if it's a branded hashtag. We're going to use a branded hashtag across all of our different pieces of content. Okay, so back to the document. What we're going to do is we're going to say this hashtag was hashtag Nashville Foodie. And then I want to see the actual URL to that particular hashtag, so that when we're going back and looking at things and making sure that we're using the most relevant hashtags, I can just come to this document and click on them. And then this one had like 90,000. So we'll go back here. 90,949. So this does it is a little bit tedious right here. Okay, so visual aesthetic. Let's go back and look at all of these posts. So visually, what are we seeing? We're seeing some bright photos. Everything's well lit except for ours. We're working on photography with them. So bright, well lit, bright colors, looks like fresh food. It's very inviting. So those are the kind of things that we're gonna put. We're gonna say that this is bright colors, well lit, lots of food, which makes total sense. And then feed description. Again, we're gonna say lots of food, styled photos. So we can tell that these are styled. Charcuterie is obviously styled. I mean, this is clearly styled. Nobody just puts oranges around a mimosa. This is another photo that has been styled. You can tell because this looks a little bit more intentional. It doesn't look like they just popped an egg on a salad. It looks like this egg was placed. They clearly placed this menu right here, the beer. So we can tell that these are styled photos. And just kind of use your gut on this. Like, this is clearly a styled photo. This is not real life. Nobody cooks like this. I cook a lot and I don't ever make stuff like that. So this is styled, so that's why we're saying that it's styled photos. There's no really related websites right now, and I don't really have any notes. It's pretty straightforward. It's styled photo shoot of food. So let's go do another hashtag. Oh, maybe I should start here. One great thing about Instagram is that they have related hashtags. So we'll just look at Nashville Eats and see what that has. Okay, so we're looking at 187,000 posts, so we're still within the range. Nashville Eats, again, this is a local customer, so Nashville makes a lot of sense for them. I don't see how this photo is necessarily relevant, but that's okay. Again, we're looking at a lot of pretty good photos, styled. Here we are again. So see, we can see some repeats from the last hashtag. So it looks like a lot of people are using similar hashtags. That's good. We kind of want that. This again looks like a pretty good hashtag. So we'll go ahead and we'll take this one and we will put it back in the document. And so that one was hashtag Nashville Eats. And then we had, what did we say, 187, 430. Visual aesthetic, I mean, same thing, and that's okay. We kind of know our audience, or we're beginning to learn about our audience, and these photos are fine. It's fine that we're seeing kind of similar descriptions. We do want to mix it up eventually, but right now, that's fine. So let's look at another one. We don't want to use Atlanta Eats right now because we're focusing on hyperlocal. So we're focusing just on the Nashville area. Let's look at Southern Food, see what that has. We'll also look at East Coast Foodies. We're not going to look at any of these. These don't make any sense. They don't have buffalo chicken. Okay, so Southern Food. So this is starting to get a little flooded. Also, it looks like only fried chicken. Wow, it's only fried chicken. That's amazing. So we do not want to use this one. One, because it's only fried chicken. They don't have any fried chicken. And two, because we're nearing kind of the top of where we want to stay for hashtags. So we can look here at related hashtags, see if there's anything that catches our eye. Country cooking, maybe. Red beans and rice, no. Southern cooking, we'll look at it. Cajun food, pot roast, crab cakes. None of this stuff looks like anything of value for us, so we're not going to use this one. Okay, country cooking. This is a possibility. These are some nice photos. Love these kitchens, they're adorable. There's some food in here. Excuse me. Allergy season. Okay, so this is one that we might use. Just looking through here, there's some beef. So this client is beef and pork right now. I believe they're going to have chicken later. So this would be good for final recipes. I wouldn't do this for anything raw. I might do this for an announcement at like a farmer's market or something. So we'll go ahead and we'll take this. We'll push it over here. Oopsies. That was hashtag Southern cooking. So I'll go ahead and fill this out later, but what I want you to focus on right now is just getting all of the hashtags loaded up in here, and we can have up to 30 in a post. So I'll probably give you kind of just like a deliverable if we need 30, if we need 50, whatever it is. And then we'll start sorting through. We'll set a priority. Southern cooking would be low priority because it's not relevant to every single post. We'll go through that later. And then we'll pop some hashtags into currently used hashtag and then suggested hashtags. So that's when we're going to dig in a little bit deeper. But think of this as kind of like you're gathering a lot of information for this particular sheet so that we can divide it up and then push it to the other two sheets. So it's kind of a lot of work, but it really helps you learn about the product and the audience and just kind of who we're going after and what social media says about the pieces of content that we're trying to develop. And then later we can talk about suggested influencers, but hashtagging is really going to help us find those people. So if you've got any questions, let me know. And thank you so much. This is incredibly helpful to me, and it's very helpful to the client because it helps us develop an entire strategy for them.